Teardrop, after Robert Irwin, references an artist who was one of the leading proponents of a movement called Light and Space, which comes out of Southern California in the 1960s and 1970s. It's a time when artists are saying light is something we should be looking at and thinking about. Without light, there is no color. Without light, there's very minimal experience. And so they start to focus on light and they start to try to control it and manipulate it. And they use scrims and natural light and artificial light. They focus our attention on something that I think in the history of art we've taken for granted. Just like Robert Irwin, Anila Agha is saying, not only should we be looking at light, but this is also culturally coded. There's a cultural dimension to how we think about light and to how we think about light and space. And so it's very important that this woman artist is inserting herself into this legacy, which is predominantly male driven, and saying a part of this is the conversation I'd like to continue.
And so Robert Irwin and the whole light movement that happened from the West Coast, it wasn't just his work. I must say that it was my earlier life in Pakistan that made me think of light as a material. I would spend a lot of time in Lahore, where it's sort of like the hotbed of medieval buildings from the Mughal 11th century onwards. I would go to this place called the Jahangir's Tomb. It's a beautiful, beautiful space where it's really quiet. It was one of my favorite places growing up. Walking through its interior spaces and seeing the jali and how the light would filter in through the marble jalis was like very seminal on me, I think. When I moved to the United States, that was one place I really missed. That was one of the reasons why I started making cutouts that cast light into the background, into these shadow boxes that would have holes. And to me, the light became like a material in tandem with craft materials like thread and needle and paper and textiles. Light and dark became part of the object.